Welcome to Las Vegas for the Event 3 final table of the PGT Kickoff. It is 2024, new year, new chances, and a new final table as Kristen Foxen comes into this one with the chip lead. My name is Remco Rinkema, Donnie Peters alongside me as we welcome you into the Triangle Room at the PokerGO studio. We got 7 finalists looking to battle it out for a wonderful top prize of $105,000. This is a 5K buy-in. We had 73 total entries, 11 places got paid, and here's a look at our chip counts. Like I said, Kristen Foxen on top, Viktor Ustimov in second, Adekunle Olonoh, I hope I said that right, he is third in chips. David Coleman is back on the scene yet again. Back-to-back-to-back final tables for him. Let's see if he can get his second title here today. Final 7 are guaranteed $14,600, and there you see the payouts going up all the way to $105,850 for the eventual champion. Cards about to get into the air. Hand number 1. Let us know in the chat where you're watching from. Let us know who you're rooting for, as we have some familiar faces and some familiar storylines to look at today. Of course, very notable, wearing the Detroit Lions, repping the hometown, Ryan Riess, Megatron Nowitzki, as Bill Simmons once called him. He, of course, former WSOP Main Event winner. And then we have Dylan Destefano, quickly becoming a mainstay inside this room. Looks as though he spent some of his recent winnings on a new pair of glasses. I very much approve of those. They look very sharp. And here's the very first hand. Ryan Riess in the mix. It looks like Ace-Jack suited. Let's see how this hand develops. Dylan Lindy, by the way, Samuel Laskowitz, Dylan Weissman, and Jim Colopy were the players to receive a min cash in the like late last night before we got down to the final table. And Riess here making it 200K. By the way, speaking of sunglasses, Kristen Foxen there, sporting some oversized ones. As we lose graphics here for just a second, but don't worry, we'll get that fixed. It looked like Foxen had pocket 10s, so a potential clash here between two of the biggest names in at this final table, Donnie.
Yeah, as long as those cards are correct, I mean, this money I think is going in. I believe Riess raised a little bit larger just to, you know, commit himself, as we see a lot of times. Kind of a clicking it back 3-bet from Foxen just to isolate. And Riess puts it in, she calls, here we go.
Does look like those cards were correct. I see Ace-Jack of clubs there for Ryan Riess. And I'm going to assume that the pocket 10s were correct as well for Kristen Foxen. This means Ryan Riess tournament on the line. He'll probably, you know, sacrifice being unlucky here for a Lions win. But of course, everyone always hoping they can make a deeper run in a tournament like this. Riess came into the final table, second short. And there it is, 10s versus Ace-Jack. Here's the flop, 9-8-8. Not a whole lot out there for Riess. Backdoor straight. Not really possible, since that would involve a 10, and that would give Foxen a full house. Riess here on the brink of elimination on the very first hand of play. All in for $665,000, and the board pairs on the turn with a 9. So looking for an ace or a jack on the river to survive here, or Ryan Riess will be our first casualty on the very first hand of play. Let's see the river card. It's the 6 of clubs, and that is it for Ryan Riess. What a short stay here inside our Triangle studio. He collects $14,600 for his efforts, and good thing for him, Donnie, that event number 4 is kicking off right now.
Yeah, event number 4. You can watch the football game as well. Get out there, start battling in the next one.
Bust the both of you.
We're going to see another runaway chip leader today.
I mean,
oh, you did?
Like, I think I was going to go with against him. And
oh, yeah. Oh, sick.
You got counterfeited?
Yeah.
Kristen
I think that's the
Foxen.
only way it plays out, where I actually don't go bust.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, sounds as though Justin Young had
Pretty
a...
big swing for you.
Yeah, he said that he had a pocket pair, but it was 6s or 7s,
Flatter,
or
and
maybe
you're
5s,
still
but
in,
he
yeah.
would have went against Riess, as the short stack is Young.
Kristen Foxen here, Donnie, up to $3 million. If our past 2 events are any indication, Kristen Foxen's got this in the bag.
Well, yeah, I mean, usually it's been the chip leader, you know, has always kind of stormed out to a big lead and then been able to finish the deal. But, you know, can't take anything away from these other 5 players she's up against. Here, she's gonna stay on the gas with a raise. We'll have graphics back very shortly. Just stay with us.
Donnie, we don't need graphics. We can make these reads ourselves. You guys in the chat, please play along as we are trying to figure out the graphics issues here. Just play along. You know, guess some cards. Back in the day, Donnie, by the way, do you remember that? Back in the day, the European Poker Tour would used to do a cards down live stream some of the days, which was always an interesting guessing game. That, of course, allowed them to go live.
You start with 1.7?
1.185.
Okay. Thank you.
Kristen Foxen, inquisitive here about Ustimov's stack. Foxen made it 90K to go, then Ustimov 3-betting to 450,000, and Foxen lets it go. I guess we're going to have to keep guessing at what the cards were in this hand. Raul in the chat says, Kristen about to bully the whole table. Well, her first attempt at that sort of went awry, but hey, of course, with that big chip lead, you can take many, many stabs and apply that pressure on your opponents. Shout out to everyone who is tuned in to watch. Please let us know where you're watching from. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got 3 more final tables after this one, Ronnie. 6 events at the PGT Last Chance. Should be a good time these following days as well.
Raise to 90.
David Coleman, who's going for MVP of the series, raises it up to 90,000. Olonoh over there in the 2-seat. A new face for me. Oh, look at that. We got Stockholm, Sweden in the house. Denmark represent as well. Of course, great time to stream just before everyone goes to bed in Europe. Poopsie once again asking, where's double Taikaguchi?
Good question.
Martirosian not making any runs lately. We do have our 4th event of the series kicking off right now. You can follow along with the live reporting on pgt.com. Oh, and there it is. Cards are back. Olonoh, let's go to the Jack 10, and Justin Young shoves 8-7 of diamonds. And that gets through.
Damn right, no colors.
Good enough for him there when you're sitting on 7.5 bigs. Just need to find something to try and double up with. Even if you get called holding the 7-8 of diamonds, you know, you're probably not going to be in the worst position.
On 405.
Here comes Justin Young once again, this time ace-4 of diamonds. Shoving from the hijack seat. Coleman might think about this one a little bit.
No collars again.
Everyone's hand into the muck. Moving on, baby. Moving on.
few more shout-outs in the chat. We got Ann in the house from Newbury, South Carolina.
80.
We got Sidhu watching from Greece. We got Benjamin Ludlow, renowned Henderson hater, tuning in from Summerlin, Las Vegas. If only he knew how good we have it, Donnie. Destefano raising it up with Jack 10 offsuit. Action folds to Olonoh. He's going to come along from the big blind. Olonoh, by the way, no stranger to tournament play. 35 total live cashes, 530K in total earnings. Made a deep run in the recent WPT World Championship, finishing 13th place on it.
Damn. It's quite a run. Very impressive. Good flop here for Destefano.
55.
Extra good that his opponent flopped middle pair and will likely get some value out of Olonoh here, at least for one street. Destefano coming with 55K on the flop. Olonoh does make the call.
Fun fact about Olonoh. Angel investor turned full-time poker pro. Founded 5 different startups throughout his career. He says he fell in love with programming in middle school after hacking his library computer to play video games. There it is.
Love it.
Also a child of the moneymaker boom, has been playing poker for many years.
Destefano elects to check back the turn, makes 2 pair on the river.
That 6 not looking too hot right now, Donnie.
No, it's not. I mean, we'll see what approach Olonoh wants to go with. He might at times want to turn this just into a bluff. He might at times just want to try and take the showdown value. Would expect that Destefano, though, is going to try and come with a bet here.
Seconds.
Sizing up a little bit here, Destefano.
255.
And a quick fold from Olonoh. Destefano takes this one down. Much needed, though. He was trending towards being one of the short stacks. Justin Young still our short stack right now with 12 big blinds. Speaking of big blinds, they're going up right now. Going to go up to 25K, 50K with the 50K big blind ante. Adding that much more pressure to Justin Young, who's now down to 10 big blinds. Shout out to Jason Zambricki, a member of the Rail for the past 6 months. He's asking, Donnie, who will have the best 2024 tournament-wise? So he's asking for some predictions on what this season will look like. And, of course, we can stick to the PGT, but we can also just have some general thoughts on breakout players.
Yeah, I mean, I talked a little bit about this on the PokerGO podcast recently with Tim Duckworth, but I pegged my prediction for PGT Player of the Year, Jeremy Osmus. You know, so not anyone that's, you know, coming out of nowhere. Jeremy Osmus certainly a a pretty household name within the poker world. My breakout player, I pegged 3 of them. Two of them are at this final table, so I feel like I'm doing pretty good there. David Coleman was one of them. Kristen Foxen was the other. I mean, if you pay attention to poker, of course, I think you would probably know who David Coleman and Kristen Foxen are. My third one was Eric Baldwin. You also would know who he is. But in terms of PGT success, PGT results, now into the 4th season of PGT, all 3 of those players haven't really done it on the PGT yet. So I'm expecting big things from them this season. Overall poker, I'm looking at Andrew Lucky Chewy Lichtenberger.
Dealer
Supremely good player, puts in a lot of volume, will play the biggest buy-in events. And then also just coming off that massive score, winning what, $2.5 to $3 million from making the WPT World Championship final table. Nice little boost to the bankroll entering this year. I could see Andrew Lucky Chewy Lichtenberger having a run similar to like a Chris Brewer or an Isaac Haxton that we saw last year, right, where they win, you know, $8, $9, $10 million, something like that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely
Thank you.
look for names
Thank you.
that are already contending consistently.
You want a Borgata or?
Hard to, of
Going to
course,
Florida
break
and
someone
then
who isn't
maybe
that
catch the
present
5K Borgata.
to do something big. I think someone like a Jeremy
that?
Becker
That's a pretty-
could really have a
lot
breakout
of
year
travel.
for
Yeah,
the
I
general
agree.
public.
Narrow
He's
schedule.
proven
I
himself
wouldn't do it if I didn't have
at the lower
other
stakes.
reasons to go to New Jersey. Family and friends there, and I taking care of some stuff.
And if the early stages of the year are
I
any
agree.
indication,
Are you
Dylan
close
Destefano might be up there as well as someone who
Close to
can become a household
Borgata's, what you
name
mean?
over the
No,
course of
we're
the
not.
next 12 months.
Right.
Like over 2 hours away.
Not too bad though. I guess you get to see him.
Yeah.
Which one's the optional one? The Florida or the Borgata?
I'm going to Florida because it's before, and then if I bust the Florida Main early enough, I can go to Borgata.
Nice.
You?
Probably just gonna chill here. See how I feel.
Owen? I think it's 425.
Justin Young, Queen 6 offsuit, just looking for anything at this point. At least he has 2 live cards as Ustimov snaps him off. Viktor Ustimov, professional poker player from Moscow.
I've been to Hollywood once just for Thanksgiving, but I've been to Tampa a few times.
Never been to Tampa.
Just
Young
Tampa.
looking for some help here to stay alive in this event.
Because some other family lives there. Went to Thanksgiving. The Hollywood one, pretty nice. They're both like pretty similar.
Here comes
Except,
the
like,
flop.
Hollywood one just has
Queen
like,
or
bigger
6
stuff.
needed for Young. Queen in the window, very nice. Justin Young well on his way to a double up here as Ustimov is down to just a queen. Running cards to make a straight would also work, but an ace is what he probably prefer. King on the turn does open up that backdoor draw. Now a jack or an ace for Viktor Ustimov to send Justin Young to the rail. Young, 84% to double up. Can he hold up? He can. 8 of spades on the river. Well done, Justin Young. Hitting with the Queen 6, now up to 900K. Destefano and Young now tied for the short stack at the bottom of the counts. And then we got 3 very similar stacks. Chase and Foxen with Coleman, Olonoh, and Ustimov. For a moment there last night, it looked as though Dylan Wiseman was just going to do it again. Ultimately, he fell just short of the final table, finishing in 10th place.
This is around 9, Dylan?
8:15.
Okay,
here.
cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Junior Mafia in the chat asking, can anyone play these events? Absolutely. The only restriction is the size of your bankroll. These 5K buy-in events are open to anyone.
110.
Event number 4 just kicking off right now inside the studio. We have 6 total events, and the final event is a 10K buy-in. Every event, by the way, at the studio is an open event unless specifically noted. Sometimes we run an invitational or charity event, but most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, it is open for anyone. Coleman taking the blinds and antes with pocket tens. Would have probably wanted some more action. Ustimov with a monster here. Ace King option on the button. Perfect position. Good timing as well. Oh, wow. Coleman finds kings in the big blind. When you're running hot, you're running hot.
10 seconds.
Talk about card distribution. I mean,
Wow.
good lord.
350.
Coleman fights back, making it 350. Donnie, this is just a layup for Ustimov to move all in, right?
Yeah, don't expect him to do anything else here except jam this for, you know, what, 28 thereabouts, big blinds. No need to get cute with this hand at all.
All in.
There it is, and we know a call is coming right away.
Right, there it is. Snap call from Coleman. Ustimov's tournament life on the line. Just 2 hands ago, Viktor was looking mighty comfortable, doubled up Justin Young, and now his tournament life on the line versus David Coleman.
A little bit of a kind of a little laugh there from Ustimov, like really? Yeah, you have 2 kings?
Exactly.
Can't even have 2 queens? Like,
Right. Brutal setup here. Ace King versus Kings. No matter how good you are, that is an unavoidable spot.
Ustimov, the player at risk.
Here comes the flop. Queen 10 Jack. I guess it could be worse.
No, Queen 10-8. Needs a jack.
He needs a jack. Yeah, see, I was already getting ahead of myself here. Ustimov, an ace or a jack would give him the lead here. Probably a little bit of a glance over at Coleman's stack, realizing that he is at risk. Queen of clubs hits on the turn. Ustimov 7 outs, or he will be our 6th place finisher. Will the Coleman streak continue? He's been running so hot. River card is the 10 of hearts,
1.6.
and that will do it. Viktor Ustimov eliminated.
Or
They're
it's
going to
more
quickly
like
verify
1.7
those
actually.
chips. But it looks as though
1.72.
he is headed towards the rails.
Yeah.
6.7.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good game.
Wow, what a what a fall, Donnie, from being second in chips to being out in just 2 hands.
Yeah, doubles up Justin Young, and then runs Ace King into David Coleman's King.
Another day, another cooler.
I mean, he said it. I mean, that's what it's been like for David Coleman. It's, you know, you play long enough, you know, eventually variance turns around and has your back.
No need to
Little
hide it.
That was
brotherly
my
love
plan
there
for
between
final
Justin Young
six.
and Dylan Destefano.
You were saying something about playing perfect. I'm like, I just want to run good.
That's been my game plan for a while.
Yeah, it's a pretty good strategy, I think.
Yeah.
I gotta fade 5th.
This is it. This is your.
Just fold
your nightmare.
everything.
I can't.
You won't play a single hand, guys. It'll be all right.
I'm gonna play like extra tight.
What is it about 5th that you don't?
If I get 5th, I have to paint my face.
Oh, yeah.
Why, you keep getting 5th?
Oh, you shouldn't have said
No,
that.
That happened to
I
me
made a
for
bet with
while.
Shannon. If one of us gets 5th,
Okay.
the person who gets 5th has to paint their face.
Paint their face.
To the
what?
next,
Ow.
I don't know.
the next PokerGO
Wait.
event.
Shannon gets to pick what to paint on
I
your
kind
face.
of
know,
root
I
for him
think
to
I
get
get
5th. I want to see the face paint.
Yeah, that doesn't seem...
I don't want the fans to root for me to get 5th either.
Well, I'm your
Donnie,
fan. And I
Everyone is rooting for Dylan Destefano to get 5th now. Everyone.
How do you
Now that he said that.
how do you
Folks,
say
folks
that
heads
to a
up.
table full of players that are going to abuse that knowledge right now? That is the funny thing.
I mean,
to
he also did come out and say, I'm just going to play tight. So
Right.
it might not be much abuse if he's just going to surrender.
Yeah, you drop this.
Olonoh raising it up from the under the gun position. Foxen in the big blind with ace 8 offsuit. Oh, look at this. 350 on the snap fold. Donnie, Kristen Foxen known for her aggressive style, and she puts it on display right away, applying pressure here. Sort of understandable why she
Does that mean
has
you
such a
have
big
to
stack.
save? You don't have that much surface
I will.
area.
I will.
Okay.
I will trim.
Oh, wow. Now we all might be rooting for you to
No,
get
I,
this.
I was supposed
Sorry.
to trim 2 days ago. I just forgot.
So it's the next PokerGO tournament you play, correct?
Yeah.
This is day 1, though.
So yeah, I think I forgot my.
Should be
face
on
paint.
stream. It should just be like the next time either of you are on stream.
I mean, there's a CVS right down there. I'm sure they
Gotcha.
have a face paint.
It's not too late to change the agreement.
David, how many chips do you have?
3.1 something.
Okay.
3.15.
5-handed, Coleman does have the chip lead, but it's a slight chip lead over Kristen Foxen, and then
10 seconds.
he's out of position against Foxen, so hands like you just saw there on the button, King 3. You know, he might normally open if there's some shorter stacks behind them, but given Foxen's stack size, given her aggressive nature, he might take things a little bit more conservatively. And then no matter what happens from here on out, looks like David Coleman just going to extend his lead.
How'd you do
the
yesterday,
top of the
David?
PGT
You won
leaderboard.
5th, okay. I was going to say, I can't let you win again.
He could. Yeah, David Coleman won event number 1. Took home $120,000 for that one. Beat Ram Zobian in heads-up play. Then he took 5th yesterday. Dylan Wiseman getting his first no-limit hold'em tournament victory in the live world, according to thehendemob.com.
It's always good to get your first. Always good to get your first.
Yeah, I think you said, what, three tournament wins before that? 2 were PLO, 1 was mixed?
Yes,
Something like that.
correct.
Olonoh there just puts the pressure on Justin Young.
I like how so far at this
No
final
one-
table, all decisions have been instant.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think
I'm
it's
just
that way.
curious what
take the
time
time
it is.
extensions off the table, man. We don't even need them.
I'm waiting for Alex to bring me Starbucks. I'm excited.
It's about 12:45 right now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. How did you know that?
I have a watch.
Oh, okay.
Kelly and I have
So old
watches.
school.
I know, I forgot that people had those. I thought they took everything away.
You can tell by the sun.
Are we not allowed to have watches?
I won't play in any tournament where you can't have watches.
You can't?
Well, WPT.
Probably
actually
no,
made us
like-
take off the
Really?
watch, yeah.
I don't think you can have Apple Watches.
Oh, well.
I think you can have, like,
That makes sense.
real watches. Yeah, right? Because it's basically a phone.
I guess I do.
Yeah.
So, should I take it off?
I won't tell anybody.
I guess you could
I
technically
actually
get
thought it
some
was pretty cool playing
updates
on
from
stream.
the present
The lodge. They, like,
on how your opponents are playing.
All in?
what do you call that? Like metal
Coleman
detects
raising it
you
up.
Oh, really?
For, like,
100K.
anything. I was like, that's
Destefano
probably
Yeah,
all
I
in
mean, that's-
with ace-3 suited and gets it done.
Yeah, I kind of wondered that. Like, I mean, even now, it's
Yeah, I mean,
really easy to put a phone in a bag. and,
yes.
like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, champions, you had to walk through a metal detector.
Yeah.
From the big, like, airport.
Yeah, I think it's smart. Yeah.
One.
Quite short there, buddy.
Huh?
25.
Olonoh here going to come in with a raise. King 8 of diamonds. Looks at 100K, min raise. Destefano here, ace 10 off from the small blind.
$275.
Destefano's 3-bet gets through. That's now a couple times we've seen Olonoh try and open things up and get whacked back down, so maybe he changes his approach here. Thought it was a little interesting that he elected to open that hand on
Sure does seem like you're trying
David
to get
Coleman's big one. You know, David Coleman and Kristen Foxen, the 2 chip leaders, generally
He
one
wants
of
an
the bigger
excuse to
stacks.
paint his face. That's the
In the
real.
big
Just paint
blind,
your face,
you might
man.
wanna
It's
take
okay.
a little
Yeah.
bit more of a
Who
conservative
brought this
approach,
idea up?
just
It was actually Shannon.
because they can just lay the
Interesting.
hammer
Wonder what
back down
inspired
on you and really put you into some tough
Probably his
spots.
daughter. Just painting her face.
Yes. Yeah, no, because he
Nora?
said something about like a soccer game or something.
There you go.
Wow, you're sharp.
Or he just knows Shannon's daughter's schedule. Kind of weird.
The way you say it, it is.
I saw a question in the chat from Patrick asking when the 2010 main event final table is going to air on our YouTube channel. Actually, we had a technical issue this morning. The upload failed or something went wrong, so had to upload a new file. That's going to be released at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So 5 p.m. Pacific time, the 2010 main event final table will conclude our run of the 2010 main event. Shout out Michael Mizrachi.
Way you get away with it.
Heater.
Great event, great final table. Filippo Candio, Joseph Chong, John Raciner. Speaking of aggression, like that might be one of the most aggressive years at the main event. So many wild hands, of course. R.I.P. Matt Affleck on day 8 of that event. Adam Levy went deep as well. If you're a poker history aficionado like Donnie and I, we've been releasing the WSOP main events going back to 2003 over the last 2 months. It's been a lot of fun seeing the feedback and getting you guys to engage in the comments on those videos. Perfect binge watch material or on your second screen if you're trying to get some work done. It's always fun to have in the background as Destefano here finds ace-jack offsuit. He's going to come in for a raise again. Still trying to not finish 5th. As he mentioned, he's going to have to get his face painted for the next tournament if he busts in 5th place. Olonoh might be thinking, well, maybe this is a good time to apply some pressure. But instead, he's just going to make the call. Ace, king, deuce, Donnie. That might spell trouble for Olonoh.
Very well could. Nice looking flop here for Destefano to continue on. It's also one of those flops where if you're Olonoh, you know, Destefano being the pre-flop raiser is going to continue a large majority of the time. So you having flopped top pair, likely going to continue here to some effect. There is the check call of 55K.
3 of hearts on the turn. Olonoh in deep trouble here. Only a 7 would save him on the river. 385 in the middle. Can only imagine, Donnie, that Destefano, given his hand and the board, that he's just going to continue betting here.
Yeah, I think so. You know, he can still get some value from some worse hands, like some worse aces, maybe some kings as well. Charge some flush draws still. And if you're Olonoh here, I mean, I know this is tricky, and I know I'm saying this, seeing the cards, but I almost think you just fold. You know, a lot of these times, when you flop top pair with an ace out of the blind, and you have a medium at best kicker, just, you know, check call, check fold is just quite often a preferred line. I mean, it's just hard. Like, you're kind of in no man's land here a lot. And if you're going to be faced with another barrel on the river, I mean, I know, of course, you're going to risk at times getting bluffed, yes, but that's just the game. King on the river, so...
Is this giving Olonoh a false sense of security, this king on the river, or is it?
It could save him, maybe. I mean, not that I think Destefano is necessarily betting a king on the flop and turn at a high frequency, but maybe Olonoh thinks that, and then he says, okay, now it's not only am I worried about a better ace, but I'm also worried about a king. I think Destefano might take the line of checking back a king on the turn, but I'm not in Olonoh's head. Now, if anyone was going to rep a king here, I think it would be Olonoh, which is interesting. Like, if he just decides to rip this on a bluff, you know, and rep the king, could also do that with his hand blocking an ace, you know. He's going to go for a blocker bet here, though. What's that, 125, I think?
Might even be only 100. Yeah, it's only 100K into 1.1 million. If you're Destefano, are you just happy to just toss it in there at the slight chance that his opponent does have a king? What's the value?
Yes,
what's the
but
value
also
in
like
raising?
it's on your read of Olonoh. Like, do you think your opponent is going to go for value for, 1/10, 1/11th pot with a king? No, he's probably going to try and get much more, especially when he's on the shorter side. So I think this looks exactly like it is a weak ace. And if Destefano reads that correctly, I mean, he's going to put this in.
All in.
There it is.
Wow.
Well done, sir.
Destefano moves all in, putting Olonoh in a world of hurt here. See, the scared nature of my tournament play, Donnie, would just say, I'm just going to call this river, avoid the potential headache in case he does lead with the king like that. But you're basically saying that your hand is so strong that there's more value to be had.
Yeah, I mean, I think Destefano, ultimately correctly assessed the situation. Olonoh never has ace-queen, which you're behind, because he's going to 3-bet that pre-flop, maybe 3-bet that all in pre-flop. So he's got a lot of these weak aces. Maybe he's got a deuce with a club. Maybe he's got, like, deuce 4 clubs, deuce 5 of clubs, something like that flopped a pair and a flush draw, also turned. Some additional equity with a wheel draw, stuff like that. A king probably goes for a little bit more value here. Hands that were ace, deuce, ace 3 are now counterfeited with that king on the river, so
Olonoh has 565 behind. Both players basically playing for stacks here.
Destefano having that jack of clubs, also removing, some, I don't know, queen jack, jack 10 of clubs types of hands. So, which means that there's probably less of a chance that Olonoh is bluffing here with like a missed flush draw like a jack 10 of clubs, because he obviously can't have that. Destefano knows that. So,
huge pot here at this final table, and Olonoh lets it go. Destefano rakes this one in, and now up to just shy of 2 million chips. Great pickup for him.
This kid definitely wants his face painted.
I know.
He set us up.
You owe one, Dylan.
Yeah, he has quads. So what kings do you have?
yeah, I think Kristen there kind of assessing the situation similarly. What kings does he have unless he has quads, right?
Right.
So then it just comes down to, where do you think your ace is? A7, I just, I think Olonoh ultimately found the right decision on the river there after getting jammed on.
Raise 100.
Another one there for Dylan.
Yeah. Ever since announcing that he was at risk of getting his face painted, he's
Maybe
been
it's all a lie.
Yeah.
He's just lying. Shannon, I'm going to lie. Have my back. If anyone asks, just have my back.
That's so funny.
I'll give you 2%. Just go along with it.
Action folds to our new short stack. Olonoh with ace-9 off on the button. Justin Young, meanwhile, ever since doubling up, has just been waiting around.
Oh.
He was up to about 900K after his double up. Now back down to 650-ish. Important pickup here for Olonoh. By the way, if you're with us in the chat on YouTube, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's been a fun series so far, this PGT kickoff. Accessible buy-ins, double the points for the players in the race for the top 40. At the end of this year, we're going to do $1 million free roll again, so pretty fun to keep up with the standings. You can do so on pgt.com/leaderboard.
Couple of 9s here for Foxen. Action folding over to Coleman. He also gives it up, and Foxen takes that one down.
Foxen back up to 3 million.
Including this hand or after this hand?
So 2 more hands.
Ace again?
Yeah, she said.
Wow.
This is the rest.
Yeah.
Just want to. I'm glad you showed us.
Good at drawing me.
Would not have believed.
Two short stacks getting out of the way. Action over to Destefano on the button with ace-8. It's the haves and the have-nots, and the 3 halves potentially involved in this hand.
Raise 130.
130 from Destefano. Action on Foxen. Let's see if she wakes up with something. King 6 off. Not really something, but it is also not nothing. So, knowing Foxen, maybe this is a fighting hand. Fun
400.
dynamics going on as well as these players played all day last night, and there it is. She does want to tangle, making it 400K. Donnie, we've seen so much more. We've seen so much more 3-betting that it's kind of a whole different final table vibe compared to the last 2 events where we saw a lot of post-flop play and a fair few bluffs with that as well, which is kind of funny to see how day-to-day, same structure, you know, similar players, the way the final table is played out varies so much.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, just the dynamics of the different players you're going to get involved.
I started with
That last
6
hand
and
with
5 before.
Destefano opening. I think some of it was
Close.
hand selection for Kristen Foxen. You know, King 6 is one of those big littles that you can attack with, and then Destefano's been very active. So at some point, it kind of felt like, you know, one of these chip leaders, Coleman or Foxen, is going to kind of be like, "Hey, buddy, like, you know, you've raised like the last 5 of 6 hands. Like, let's just slow down a little. You can't have it every time."
And Foxen just continues to apply the pressure. King Queen suited enough to put the short stack all in. Olonoh 7-5 off, throws him into the muck right away, and the pace of play is just extremely high at this final table. It's been a pleasure to watch so far.
It slowly just dies. Have you ever seen that?
That's a skill.
That lawn bowling video you were talking about? Where the guy like precisely hits like the sickest shot ever.
Yeah, no, I've never seen that.
You seen that? You guys ever seen that?
No.
The like the lawn bowling video where like the guy like it's like kind of like bocce where the guy like puts it perfectly. Oh man, it's.
Like he spins it, or
No, it's like you roll it.
okay.
I've seen it, Dylan.
But
I'll
it's
back
Yeah,
straight line,
I've seen it too.
or-
Like on a curved line.
Okay.
Kind of like current.
You don't even have to know what it is. It's just a video that's been all over the internet.
Yeah, it might have a
5
billion
this here,
combined
so,
views between
590.
all the
590.
platforms and all the reposts.
Raise 120.
Destefano opening up with King 10. I mean, if prior hands are any indication, Foxen might 3-bet this again, especially her being on the button, this hand falling into that
360.
solver-approved range. And there it is.
Yeah, and I think the positions here line up for her to 3-bet nicely. Oh, okay. Oh, Olonoh getting out of the way with 2 7s there. think I might have put those 2 sevens in. I know it's not like the strongest hand. I know you're obviously facing a raise and a 3-bet in front of you, but if you factor in the way that the final table has played out in the last, what, half hour or so, you have Dylan Destefano opening a lot, right? Ever since he made the comment about finishing in 5th and having to paint his face, he's been extremely active. He's raised at least 6, maybe 7 hands and been in there. Kristen Foxen took the opportunity on the last hand to 3-bet him. It was a snap fold from Destefano, right? So you know that Destefano is not the strongest in his range because he didn't even think about it. That hand as well, similar sort of thing. You know Kristen's probably going to be aggressive. You know Destefano is opening things up a little bit wider. So being sub 10 big blinds, you might just have to take those 7s, put your money in, run the 5, and hope for the best of it.
Destefano here, after giving up to 2 3-bets from Foxen, now with a chance to apply some pressure with kings.
400.
This final table has seen a ton of pre-flop aggression. Ace-5 off, Donnie, is that the type of hand we get frisky with as far as a 4-bet, might I suggest?
She might want to. I mean, this is where you get into the leveling war of things, right? She's taken 2 times recently to 3-bet him. He's now 3-betting her. Destefano, certainly capable of 3-betting on the lighter side. We can obviously see that he's got 2 kings here, but that doesn't mean he always has to. Is his stack size a little bit of a giveaway? Him 3-betting to about 25% of his stack.
On.
Wow, there it is.
Yes.
Foxen moves all in, applying that pressure, and gets caught with her hand in the proverbial cookie jar.
1.7.
Cookie jar.
There's a face painting on the line here.
There is.
She hits an ace. I mean, get the paint out.
Wow. Kristen Foxen putting the pressure on Destefano, who was ready for it with pocket kings. 3.4 million in the middle. The chip lead is on the line.
Wow, make it a 5.
Foxen, if she loses, will still be left with plenty of chips. Here comes the flop. Jack 3, 10, 2 spades. No spades for either player, so those won't come into play.
A little bit of a smile there from Kristen.
9 of spades on the turn.
She's probably thinking, maybe that was a little over-aggressive for me. Maybe it was just kind of the situation that had developed between these 2 players, but nonetheless, she needs an ace here on the river.
Yeah, ace necessary here, and it is a jack of diamonds on the river. And Destefano going from short 5 out of 5 to now being the chip leader as we are still 5-handed. And both Olonoh and Young now on basically 8 big blinds. So very much a lot of separation between those 2 and the other 3 players.
Six.
1.6.
Dealer breaking this one down. Gonna get that count correct.
1.66.
Thank you.
Looks like Dylan Destefano is going to move up over 3.4 million in chips, take the chip lead.
Sorry, Shannon.
You still can. Don't count chickens.
This is true.
Kristen Foxen dropping back to 3rd, but she's still pretty healthy with more than 30 big blinds in her stack.
That, of course, also, Donnie, a pretty decent factor for that shove. The fact that she had such a big buffer to quote-unquote gamble with.
Yeah, and she can put the pressure on with the stacks of Olonoh and Young there. As you mentioned, 8, 9 big blinds over there for those guys. So it really just requires Destefano to have a hand. He did in that situation, unfortunately, for Foxen. But it is what it is.
Because given the given the face painting that was on the line, as well as pay jumps, point jumps, stuff like that, how strong of a hand would Destefano have to fold there versus a shove?
At 2.7.
Thank you.
Are we folding tens?
Wow, reading my mind.
I don't know if he 3-bets tens. Probably just calls tens, maybe. I'm not sure. Jacks, I think he just goes with it. You know, just knowing how Kristen plays, he'll go with it. 2 short stacks here, Remco.
Wow. Short on short. And Justin Young with perfect timing. David Coleman.
Get away from me.
Oh, 7's going to come for sure right now after Coleman tosses 2 of them into the muck. Justin Young in a great situation here to double up and leaving Olonoh with fewer than 1 big blind. Jack 10 of clubs, though, going up against aces might be sort of like close to a best-case scenario, Donnie?
Yeah, I mean, Jack 10 of clubs is a fine hand to get your money in when you got 8 or 9 big blinds.
Still lots of options here, both, or the suit live as well. Here comes the flop. 4-4-6 is about as far removed from what Olonoh wanted to see here to keep his hopes alive in this
That's what they
event.
say about poker.
Running Jack or running 10. His only option right now.
7 always coming.
Turn card, 8
German
of
aces,
clubs,
they say.
and that will do it for Olonoh,
They said it's the year of the 7 again. Can you believe
who will
it?
be left with
Does he cover?
I think
about
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
okay.
he's gotten covered by a touch.
a small blind.
It looks like he might have a
Third card is the ace of clubs, adding insult to injury here. Justin Young with his second double up of the night.
Wow, Dylan, you've had kings twice at the final table?
Kings are my hand.
Did you show down King twice? No, right? Just one.
Aha, you got him.
So sneaky.
Thanks for that.
I didn't have kings then.
Ace Jack.
Kristen trying to get some information, going back to that hand where
Just know you.
Olonoh bet 100K on the river and Destefano shoved all in. And the ace, king, deuce, 3 king board. Olonoh here is all in under the gun. He's got the 9-3 of clubs. Dylan's got a couple of 8s.
$180.
180.
3x raise from him. It's going to knock everyone out of the way. So Olonoh's going to be at risk here. He was all in for his last 35K. He's got 1 over for those 8s.
9, a 3 of clubs. Gives him some options at least, but being up against a pair of 8s, very, very tough situation here. Olonoh, of course, at this point, basically looking at this like, I'm already eliminated. Anything I can get right now would be nice. Being knocked down to fewer than a big blind after that big clash versus Justin Young. And 8-8 king on the flop. Quads for Destefano.
Good game.
Olonoh eliminated in epic fashion as he is able to smile and laugh it off. Destefano fades, having to get his face painted for busting 5th. He is our chip leader with 4 players remaining.
See what this cushion
And
is all about.
Olonoh
Lucky cushion.
potentially heading into event number 4.
Wasn't it his?
He takes home $25,550
Still very tall.
He's
Okay.
brave.
for his 5th place. Okay. It's getting a little weird
What
out
does she
here.
have now?
1.15, so whatever, 1.09.
Cool.
Justin Young, mostly known around Las Vegas as a cash game player.
You can still paint your face.
I might. We knew it all along. You wanted to. You set us up.
Say 5th or better.
Yeah, well, if it's 4th, you paint from the nipples up. 3rd, navel.
Naval. Shout out, John.
Ace, queen of hearts
What's
here for
first?
David Coleman on the button.
Whole body, obviously.
Who's going to paint the whole body?
I mean, I'll be a volunteer. I'll do a toe or something.
A toe?
Yeah.
Everyone, it's like a cast. How'd you break your leg?
Coleman picks up the minimum here with Ace Queen of Hearts. And Justin Young, who was the shortest stack with 7 left, with 6 left, with 5 left, is now the shortest stack with 4 left.
Hey, man. Doesn't matter if you're the short stack, as long as fewer players are at the table every time. Doesn't matter. Just keep on laddering up.
Exactly. Laddering up is the name of the game. Well, if you want to get in the game, go to PokerGoPlay.com right now and start playing. Pick your avatar and get in the mix there. Donnie, I know you've been dabbling a little bit.
Yeah. PokerGo Play offers, I believe it's $10,000 in prizes.
Whoa.
Via their kind of sweepstakes model. So if that's something you want to try your hand at, I would highly encourage you guys to do so. The gameplay is pretty fun. It's interactive.
If you're just tuning in for the very first time, this is our PGT Last Chance series, event number 3 of our 6-event series, streaming every final table from our triangle room. Meanwhile, Foxen picks up aces, picks up this pot. Let us know who you're rooting for. Let us know in the chat if you're having a good time.
I think she's still waiting for that Starbucks. I mean,
yeah, what the heck?
Where's Alex?
It's terrible.
Did he go to Mesquite? I mean, what's happening here?
By the way, Olonoh, who has just gotten eliminated, I was looking at this bio sheet, and he said his favorite snack is cereal. Now,
that's a pretty like wide open.
A few months ago, I would have made fun of that because, you know, being the European that I am, not growing up eating cereal, I always find it a bit funny. And to me, it is more like a dessert or a snack, if you will. But ever since, I've gotten completely addicted to Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So here we are. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, in my opinion, the best cereal. Donnie, what's your go-to?
So I'll say that I don't eat cereal anymore. That said, I love cereal. It's just like I have to like really try hard to not eat it. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is really, really good. I don't want to pick the same thing as you. I think, so I've always been made fun of for my favorites because they're extremely boring. I've always liked Kicks.
Kicks?
Which is like,
I've never heard of that.
It's just like little puffs, but they don't taste like anything. Corn Pops was always a favorite of mine growing up. Apple Jacks as well growing up. My most favorite cereal, though, Honey Nut Cheerios.
Oh.
Pretty simple, but has a little bit of taste. I also love, you know, regular Cheerios. Regular Cheerios with some slices of banana cut up and put in there.
180.
Oh, give it to me. Let's go.
My wife, fiance, is a big Honey Nut Cheerios fan. She's also gluten-free, which that is one of those options.
I mean, look at Kicks. I mean, come on. People are like, of course, that's a serial killer cereal. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Look at it. They don't taste like anything.
Do they still make these?
I don't even know if they still make them.
It says kid
tested, mother approved. That was the slogan.
Oh my god, sounds scary. They're testing on kids.
You don't see a lot of, at least I don't see a lot of cereal commercials anymore. They used to be all over the place, like nonstop. And then, like now, you know, I go to the grocery store a lot and whatever, and you know, you walk through the aisles. I feel like the cereals nowadays are like music. Like I have no idea who the artists are or the songs are these days.
Right.
Like I just have no clue, like what's going on. You know, I go through the cereal aisle, I'm like, what is any of this stuff now? Like it's all changed so much.
Meanwhile, Foxen and Coleman going head-to-head here. Foxen top pair with a 10 of clubs. Coleman a pair of sevens with the ace of clubs. Very intriguing flop here. Coleman made it 180 before the flop. Foxen called from the big blind. This could get very, very interesting. Based on Foxen's earlier play, a raise is not out of the question. She does opt to call. Turn card is the 6 of hearts. Foxen now taking a lead as far as the equities go. Coleman still with a pair and the nut flush draw.
Coleman might slow down here, go with check call, maybe even some check jams at times, but he can also bet. I kind of can see him going any which way here. He does elect to check.
If you're Foxen here, top pair with that flush draw? Are you betting to?
Yeah, I think she leans to bet. I mean, you can get some value. You know, you can deny some equity from your opponent. I mean, your top pair is vulnerable to an extent. I mean, it is blind versus blind, so she probably feels pretty good about it. Of course, having the 10 of clubs is that backup. If you are beaten any sort of way, then that's really good for you as well.
I mean, if you're Coleman here, you got great equity to come along and see a river card. Stacks are still plenty deep. He's going to make the call. We're going to have over $1 million in the middle here going to the river. Huge river card coming. If a club comes off, Foxen might go bust. And it is the ace of spades instead, and Coleman takes the lead. Now, of course, this might slow Foxen down just a little bit, but horrible development for her. And she checks behind instantly. Coleman gets there.
Yeah, unfortunate run out there for Kristen Foxen.
Probably the tournament, but I won't do it right away. Got a baby shower I'm going to go to if I bust. I'll just see if the cash is going. I don't think it will. Will's in town, but like I don't know.
Will?
Actually, yeah, I don't know if you know him. Sorry. He's fun to play with.
Wow. David Coleman faulting himself almost into the chippy with that huge river card. Foxen and Young now, the two short stacks. That hand violently interrupted my cereal talk. Chad, definitely also deep into the cereal conversation. I see Honeycombs, Fruity Pebbles, Cap'n Crunch, Reese's Puffs, Grape Nuts. Let's see what else we got here. We got Cookie Crisp, Frankenberry, never heard of that either. Raisin Bran, isn't that the boring one?
Raisin Bran was one of those ones where if you were really young, it was like the old person's cereal. But as I got older, like I grew into Raisin Bran, right?
That's funny.
Frosted Flakes when I was a kid was in there in the rotation for sure.
You know the main reason why I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch so much is because they're so good to eat without milk.
Yeah.
Because they're just like a good snack. I'm not allowed to go grocery shopping anymore.
You just come up with 12 boxes of cereal.
Yeah, like the family-sized box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And I just eat bowls and bowls and bowls of it. Coleman here, king, queen off on the buttons, going to raise it up. Foxen, queen 10 suited. She is sitting on, let's see, 24 big blinds. Donnie, time for fireworks.
All in.
I could see her putting this in, yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
every chance that Kristen Foxen has got to make some kind of move, she's gone
I
for it.
believe it's like 23 bigs.
this will be close for Coleman.
600.
He'll probably lean fold, but certainly worth considering. There are going to be some worse hands that Foxen does jam. Obviously, the queen 10 suited of the world. If she's jamming queen 10 suited, I would guess she's jamming queen jack, jack 10. But then the hands that, you know, that she can jam, that you're doing all right against, but still behind. Ace 5 suited, stuff like that, you know, so it's...
Look at this.
More than 20.
Coleman lays it down, and Foxen picks up some chips again. Kristen Foxen has to be a fan favorite. Her playing style is just so great to watch.
I mean, a couple people in the chat seem to think she's blowing up or torching. I mean, I think the queen 10 suited there, jam is pretty standard if you're studying charts. I mean, that seems pretty well within reason for sure.
Right.
Especially against Coleman, who, you know, once Destefano gets out of the way, Coleman's going to be opening on the button, probably pretty wide. He is a big chip leader. You know, he's going to be opening and folding to a lot of jams, but of course trying to apply pressure on Foxen and Young.
Dirty diaper.
Speaking of baby shower.
Bless you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Whoa. Violence.
You play any PLO or mix teams or nothing?
Say
You
again?
play PLO or mix teams?
I play PLO, yeah.
You gonna play the PLO series?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, nice.
I was on the fence before.
Now it's like.
Now I have to, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice little deuce. You?
No, I won't touch that game.
I'm not particularly good, but I'm okay. It's fun, very fun. I enjoy it.
Dylan Weissman was like telling me some PLO stuff on the break, and he's just like, yeah, PLO tournaments together. And I was like,
He's always pushing them.
he's a good ambassador for the PLO game. Yeah. Like listening to him talk, I'm like, I could do that. Then I just think with like one brain cell.
Coleman might be hesitant
180.
to attack Kristen Foxen in any sort of way, but he's still going to raise from the small blind here. This time he doesn't get any resistance. If you're watching this right now and you're got your fingers on the keyboard, perhaps getting involved with our chat, let us know who you think will take this down. Kristen Foxen has been the most volatile player, winning 10 hands, but also, losing her share. Destefano on a recent little streak, now our chip leader. Justin Young seemingly going from double up to double up, folding in the in between.
10 seconds.
120.
Raise 120. Seconds.
120.
Raise 120.
Wow. Coleman makes it 120. Foxen now finds a real hand with pocket jacks.
10 seconds.
Perhaps the right time going to go a little bit smaller given the fact that she's in position.
360.
She goes to 360.
Yeah, 3-bet call this off if Coleman does ultimately jam on you here.
How likely is that with ace-8? Or is ace-8 off just one of those hands where, you don't have anything going for you and it becomes sort of a pure bluff? And he does quickly fold, having said that.
Is there a break after this? Got it.
4 hands.
There we go.
Four
so
hands
4 more
starting
hands in
this
this
hand.
level. No break after this level, so 48 more hands of poker.
literally the first thing I thought about when I woke up this morning.
Really?
Yeah.
What level do we have?
And I'm not even saying she was wrong, but like there was
Just
a
like
discrepancy in how they did it
Okay.
level before versus
Exactly.
which is fine, but it should have been
Like they didn't change it before.
correct. Yeah. That's
As far as
it was a. I understand what they were saying, and it made sense. Just don't like arguing with anyone that doesn't think they can be wrong. Tight opinions, loosely held.
10 seconds.
$210.
Raise 210.
Destefano with a monster finds pocket queens in the small blind. Coleman with the real hand in the big. These are the two big stacks clashing here, Donnie. Given the stack sizes here, are you calling more often because you're so deep?
Yeah, you can just play this one in position pretty confidently. Destefano electing to check here.
I wonder if there's any incentive for Coleman to bet, and he does decide to take a free card, hoping to perhaps pick up some equity on the turn. He does not.
Destefano might not like that ace given how the flop went. Probably would expect Coleman to have bet a hand like a Jack-10 suited. Just start bluffing with those hands. And then check back a lot of the ace highs.
160.
Destefano takes it down with a bet of 150K. And all eyes, meanwhile, on Justin Young, who is once again folding his way towards being all in.
Topic of conversation in the chat is still that Queen 10 jam from Kristen Foxen.
Let's see if Dylan Stefano knows how to play Queen 10.
Suited.
It's hearts, though.
Suited.
Hearts, of course, a little weaker than spades.
Raise 120.
And now it's Foxen's turn with kings. I mean, everyone just getting kings.
Wow. Foxen out of position here, Donnie. Does that make her more likely to shove, or is that still too much, 30 bigs?
420.
I mean, I think it's just too much of a hand to shove, right? So
It's a good number, right?
Destefano with the quick fold after she made it 420.
Sure.
Destefano leading with 57 big blinds. Coleman on 50, Foxen on 32, and Justin Young on 11. If you're tuning in on YouTube, do us a favor and hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and turn on your notifications so you'll know every time we go live. We're live again tomorrow, we're live again on Tuesday, and we're live again on Wednesday as well. Foxen in the small blind here, ace 7 of hearts.
All in.
Moves all in to apply that pressure on Justin Young. And he makes the call right away. Finds ace-queen offsuit. Justin Young plays only one style of poker at this final table, and so far it is working for him. He gets it in good here. All right, here's the flop. King, 10, 6, 2 spades. Young has the ace of spades for some additional protection. Foxen looking for a 7 and a 7 only to reduce the field to 3. Turn card. It's the 9 of spades. Speaking of that protection, that comes in handy now. The only difference being Foxen adds a straight draw to her outs. 5 outs once now, heading to the river. Justin Young looking to survive. Ace of diamonds on the river. Justin Young doubles up a third time at this final table. And look at this. Foxen and Young now tied for the short stack. Destefano and Coleman pretty close to being tied at the top as well.
Yeah, lesson.
And look at this. Coleman finds queens.
But a lot of big hands dealt.
The big pairs keep being dished out like it's nothing.
We've seen aces, kings, queens, jacks, 10s, 9s, 8s, 7s. Those we've seen those for sure.
Yeah, you're right. We need to keep like a bingo card and like cross off all the big hands that we see. And then we have to have some sort of payoff in case we hit a bingo. Destefano calls some big blind with king 10, or excuse me, king deuce of hearts. King jack 9, 2 hearts, the nuts basically for Dylan Destefano. Coleman has the queen of hearts as well. Donnie, for queens, you know, as far as flops go with an overcard, this is not the worst flop.
No, not the worst. Also not the worst given that you're the pre-flop raiser. You know, those two things in combination certainly work well for Coleman to come out betting, and he does, 110K. I think, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think Coleman is probably going to be fine to call a check raise if that's what Destefano does. Destefano, all right, he's just going to make the call.
Turn card. Queen of diamonds.
What in the world?
Speak of a spicy card here. Coleman hits a set. Destefano still with top pair and that king high flush draw. Destefano checks again. 550 in the middle. How concerned are we about a 10, Donnie, from both these players' perspectives?
I feel like it's kind of pretty even that both players could have, you know, a lot of 10s. Maybe it leans a little more in favor of Destefano because he can have like the jack 10s or the 10 9s. But you know, why can't Coleman have an ace 10, a king 10, you know, a jack 10, 9 10 himself? Certainly either of these players could have flopped it with a queen 10. Now, if you're Coleman, you have a good thing in that you have 2 queens, so you can take out those queen 10s from the range of your opponent more so. Coleman comes kind of smallish here. Destefano's not going anywhere. We're going to see a river. I mean, there's the 10.
Wow. Absolute wow on the river. A single ace, of course, would do all the damage here. But we can see that this hand will be a chop unless one of them decides to fold.
In terms of ranges, though, I would think that Coleman has a handful more aces in his range than
10 seconds.
Destefano does. So if Coleman also reads into that,
550.
then he's going to come with a bet, and he is here.
Wow.
You know, he's thinking, I have more aces here than the big blind does, so I'm going to bet, and I'm going to try and take this down. And we see this at times. Oh, he don't. And he gives it up.
Wow, Destefano gives it up, and Coleman turns what could have been a frustrating river card into a nice little profit, but we really avoided a
1.3
monster
-ish?
clash here,
Yeah.
Donnie.
You?
About the same.
All right.
1.31.
Did. I mean,
Okay.
it could have been
Or
interesting
actually,
in a
I
lot of
think I
different
just lost
spots.
30.
Edge the whole way.
1.28.
Cool.
On the river.
Except for pre-flop.
I mean,
Well,
it-
and on the turn.
You didn't have me on
I'll check, 'cause I lied to you.
That's
1.31.
I didn't.
Action will continue
Other
here
than
as the blinds go up. Players are not going on break, so we're strolling into that 40K,
Just waiting for
80K
the-
level. Blinds
Waiting for the
going
day
up, and that
sneak
means
attack
that
pull away.
our two short stacks, Foxen and Young, are now going to be sitting on 16 bigs. They're going to have to make something happen in this level.
48, you know.
40-80.
Started this final table with Ryan Riess busting on the very first hand.
I feel like we see that a bit in the secondary studio. You know, like first couple of hands, people just getting their money in, and somebody's going home.
Thank you.
Ish.
Yeah.
Foxen, ace queen offsuit. Very nice hand to start with,
Ace queen.
especially given her stack size.
10 seconds. Time expansion.
Maybe contemplating all in, maybe contemplating a raise to not all in.
Ten seconds.
600.
Raise to 600 total.
600,000, committing a large portion of her stack. Basically signaling that this is the hand she's going to go with. Everyone gets out of the way, and she takes
I owe one.
this one down.
Yep. We're on hand 41 of this final table. Excuse me, hand 42 about to start. Just wrapped up hand 41. The past 2 days, we finished in either the 75K, 150K level or the 100, 200 level. So plenty of poker left to be played. Hope you stick around to find out who's going to come out on top here as Justin Young tosses ace-4 off into the muck. Destefano, a playable 7-6 of clubs on the button here.
Raise. 160.
Makes it 160 to go. Coleman tosses queen 9 into the muck. Sixes here, Donnie. Cross it off your list, off the bingo card.
Love it.
Pocket sixes for Kristen Foxen.
Probably a jam here from her.
All in.
All in.
There it is.
Fold.
Quick with the draw, Kristen Foxen, and takes this one down.
Foxen doing well here in this new level to separate herself from Justin Young. Put a little bit of real estate between those two stacks, which gives her a little bit more comfort.
Second. Raise. 160.
It's crazy how one hand like that can really make a big difference as far as separating ourselves from Justin Young. Young, by the way, who finds 10-6 hearts in the big blind. He's going to come along and see a flop. Haven't seen Young play too many flops. He's been really much waiting very much on the all-in clashes as we see 9-3 deuce rainbow. And Kristen Foxen's finally getting a coffee, Donnie.
I mean, I feel like it's been an hour and a half.
This could be a game changer at this final table.
$110.
Destefano picks up the pot. For clubs for Coleman. And Justin Young moves all in with King 10 offsuit. 8-3 off for Destefano. That's not going to be a hand to tangle with, and he lays it down. We're basically just waiting for Justin Young's next double up. With us in the chat, please let us know if you have any sports bets going on this week, Donnie. I know it's a big one. It's a big Sunday. What are you? What side are you on today?
Packers +7.
+7. They're. Do you want to know the score?
It started. Oh, it started. What's the score?
They're up 14-0.
Let's go, baby! And then I'm on the Lions tonight. I was on the Chiefs and the under last night because. No way in hell we can check off deuces of the board.
Yeah, I was gonna say seven deuce, but at least they both have a pocket pair. Foxen raises it up to 170. Fives for Coleman, also into the muck.
1.23.
We only need 4s and 3s.
Exactly. Justin Young all in and at risk. If Foxen makes the call here with pocket 7s.
10 seconds.
She looks back down at her own stack. Donnie, this of course a large portion of her chips as well. 7s might not be a comfortable call, but can you really fold here, Donnie?
I mean, this is tough because, yeah, I think you have to call. I mean, it's tricky because, you know, you have the shorter stack who's attacking you, the second shorter stack, so that might appear a bit stronger. I think 7s is close, but ultimately a call.
Time extension.
It's, sorry, 1.23. Yeah, okay.
200.
Yeah, thank you. Hold. 2?
Yeah.
Wow, look at this. Foxen lets it go. Donnie, give me some insights here on this fold.
Yeah, I mean, she probably just felt this was, you know, stronger than not. Again, just with the positionings of the chips. I think she probably for sure calls 8s. I think 6s maybe finds the fold a little bit more easily, and then 7s is that kind of cutoff spot where, at least in her mind, she can probably go either way, as evidenced by a little bit of a tank there. You know, Young hasn't gotten all in
60.
so far at this final table without having a very good hand, right? So there's probably some, you know, player-specific elements going on in her hand. Like, what, you know, what is he going to be somebody who jams, you know, the ace-4 suited there in that spot? I mean, if she thinks, yeah, he's going to jam ace-5 suited, ace-4 suited, stuff like that, then she probably leans more call. But if he's someone who's not going to do stuff like that, then she probably leans a little bit more fold.
10 seconds.
Foxen happy to call here from the big blind
like
with ace-5 of clubs.
Sparkling water, but like a bit more juicy, plus a lot of caffeine.
Wow, look at this. King 6-3,
I had one,
2
I've seen one.
clubs.
Huh?
I've never had
Foxen
one, but I've seen
with
one.
a really nice
I can
flop.
pour you a glass if you like.
Justin Young reaching
I'm a big bubbly
immediately.
guy.
They have
Continues.
some like green tea. They have like a green tea one, like a mango green tea, and then like they have like a raspberry green tea. The flavor is like a bit too strong. It should be like a little bit less flavor. But
Yeah. Water them down.
it's a good. It's definitely my favorite source of caffeine.
10 seconds.
Moving into a tea discussion here at this final table as Foxen is trying to decide, do we want to crank it up a notch here or just come along for the call?
Yeah.
She's going to make the call.
Yeah.
Good news for Young, who doesn't have a whole lot going for him, but he does have some backdoor draws, which are not completely dead, as Foxen hits the nuts on the turn, makes a flush. Justin Young left with nothing. Donnie, if you're Young, is this a situation where you just give up? This board is so unwelcoming to your hand.
Yeah, I think at this point you probably just have to give up. Don't mind the pre-flop raise. Don't mind, you know, stabbing on the flop there on a king-high board like this if you are the pre-flop raiser. But at this point, I think you do just have to give it up. We'll see how Foxen wants to approach this river here. She likes to check, so she's going to hope her opponent tries to stab at this one, but he does not. Checks behind.
Thanks.
Foxen chips up through Justin Young, who gives back what he just took. Donnie, the stacks across the board getting shallower
and your
here
hand
with
ticks,
not
man.
a runaway chip leader compared to the previous two
Can't deal with
streams.
that, man.
How do you think that's going to affect the action here?
It's not a bad thing.
I mean, I think we're going to see a lot of what we've seen right
You're
now,
making poker fun
where
again.
people are just going to be kind of playing fairly standard. You know, I don't think there's any crazy ICM implications at play right now. I mean, Justin Young short, he's got, what, 15, 16 big
He's having a
blinds,
great
like in that neighborhood. It's not like he's sitting there with 6. Foxen's got enough playability, and she's been involved as of late. Check 3s off that bingo board, sir. We only need 4s now.
Yeah.
I mean, given how, you know, relatively quick these final tables can play out, the fact that we've seen all pairs
And,
other than 4s.
and here's Kings again.
Kings again. This is the 4th or 5th time we've seen Kings.
Wow.
This is wild.
Coleman crossing his fingers that one of the players in the blinds is going to wake up with something. Foxen looks interested already. And it's 7s. I mean, Donnie, this is
feels like it's going in. I mean, unless
23 bigs.
maybe she finds a 3-bet fold. Feels to me like
All
this
in?
is,
All in.
yeah.
Wow, Kristen Foxen moves all in. Justin Young happy to witness perhaps a pay jump for him
King.
as Coleman snaps it off here with pocket kings. Kings have been red hot at this final table.
Like 1.8?
Yeah, I believe so. 1.850.
Just a rough spot here for Foxen. Chip leader opening up on the button, sevens. Feel pretty good getting your money in and then snapped.
What a roller coaster it has been for Kristen Foxen. She's been by far the most aggressive player at the table. This shove, of course, pretty unavoidable here. Is the 7 going to be there? And it is! 7 in the middle. Jack 7-5 on the flop. No spades for Coleman. He's looking for a king and a king only.
I believe Justin Young folded one, Remco, in the big
Oh
blind.
my
So
God.
if that's correct, he has one out.
Kristen Foxen has a hard time not smiling. This, of course, is exactly what you're hoping for. And it's the queen of clubs on the turn. Paint showing up always gets the adrenaline going. Lucky for her, it was not a king. Coleman down to 2 outs on the river. River card is the 9 of spades.
Thank
And
you. Lucky.
Kristen Foxen stays alive. This final table continues to get more and more epic. Wow. What a fantastic final table this has been.
5, 1.7.
It took a while, but
7, 8.
finally somebody put some
1.8,
chink
and
in
then
David
another
Coleman's armor, who has for the past week been running pretty hot. So
1.895?
Coleman cut down all the way to fewer than 1.2 million in chips, just ahead of Justin Young on the leaderboard.
60, 70. Is it?
1.7,
1.7,
yeah, a little bit
1.8.
more. It's 1.895.
Wait, these are.
Oh, they're too heavy.
Yeah.
Here we go.
This is
That's it.
1.8.
That's right.
1.895. That's good.
Control the step and mix all.
All right. Thank you.
And there is the double up.
Kristen Foxen has to stand up to stack these chips because she is now our new chip leader, up to just shy of 4 million chips. David Coleman, who has had his share of good luck over these last few final tables. Mind you, this is his 3rd straight final table. Now, not so lucky, and he is basically at the bottom of the counts with Justin Young.
Do we credit that 7 to the Starbucks?
Yeah, maybe.
You know, it's
Lucky
just like
coffee.
things weren't going her way for quite some time. Her husband Alex shows up with the Starbucks that she ordered like 3 hours ago, and boom,
I mean,
finds the 7.
I hope she ordered a cold drink because that coffee is going to be cold by now if it wasn't.
I think she's always a cold drink.
Oh, okay.
One of those people where it doesn't
Colin?
matter if it's 30 outside or 120. She's
1.14.
got a cold drink. Couple of 6s, another pair. I mean, this is close for Destefano.
10 seconds.
Sorry, 1.105.
1.105.
We had a similar situation at yesterday's final table, Donnie, where I think Queen 8 ended up in the muck, and the very next orbit it was Queen 9 for Dylan Weissman that he used to make the call. But I do believe that was a bit of a smaller shove.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this one's approaching 14 bigs, so
10 seconds.
How many bigs are we calling off here with Queen 10? Oh, sorry, with Queen 9 suited? Maybe like 8 or 9?
yeah, 8 or 9, I think for sure. 10
I asked
probably.
to fill
You
that
know.
stack and I immediately broke it.
Then you, I mean, you also have to factor
I asked
in,
to fill that stack and I immediately broke it.
Justin Young.
Thank you.
He's been a little bit more snug when he's put his money in than some other players might be, right? Not that I'm calling Justin Young tight or anything like that, but it's just that's just how it's been at this final table. So 7 here for Foxen. She thinks about it and then gives it up. I think the fact that she just thought about that there is, you know, now we see Foxen back in the driver's seat. She's back on top. So we're going to see Kristen Foxen, the aggressor, come back into play here, and she might start opening things up a little bit. Queen 7, you know, maybe a pip or maybe a couple pips outside of her raising range with this sort of chip lead, but I would expect her overall to start getting involved a bit more. Destefano here going to raise out of the small blind.
Second pass.
4 deuce off.
Fold.
Coleman gives it up. And Dylan gets that one through.
Messing around with the dealer button here.
You had nothing.
You know who I'm missing, Donnie?
What's that?
Renlin. Where is
He hasn't been
Renlin?
around
for
a while.
Okay.
7 of
Wait, let me see if I can get mad.
Sorry about that.
By the way, if you want to keep up
this
with
next match
all
could be better.
the PGT updates, check out pgt.com. We have live reporting going on right now of event number 4. Once again, a 5K buy-in.
Good mark on that card, actually.
Already in the mix today. Jim Colopy, Lucky Chewy. By the way, I was driving behind Lucky Chewy
Fold.
on my way into the studio. His number plate says Lucky Chewy. David Peters, Jeremy Osmus. We have yesterday's finalist, Matthew McEwen. Viktor Ustimov already hopped into event number 4. While you're here, you might as well.
All in.
All in.
Can I have a count, please?
I think it's a million.
Coleman moves all in with ace-deuce suited. And Foxen instantly asked for a count here,
Right,
Donnie.
this guy.
What's the verdict going to be here for 12 big blinds?
It's going to be a decision.
Yeah, it looks
You're gonna
tall.
flip a coin in your head.
5K.
So
think I'm folding.
7 is much and 1 beauty and pot.
Okay.
Foxen can afford it after doubling through Coleman. And she makes the call. All right, Coleman's tournament life on the line here with ace-deuce.
Coleman doesn't like to see that he is, in fact, dominating.
Right when I said, right when you said how much is it? Well, you had kings versus their sevens. I was like, yeah.
I was
sevens,
kind of
like-
thinking that too. Actually,
That was
that's
a
weird you
blunder
say
for
that.
sure.
Coleman now the one needing some help. But hey, help comes sometimes. We saw that as Kristen Foxen spiked a 7 versus Coleman's kings not too long ago. Now, is Coleman going to be as fortunate to perhaps find some diamonds, maybe a deuce, a wheel? There's a whole bunch of options still, but he only has 28%. Here comes the flop. 3, deuce, 6
spicy.
in the middle, same spot as where the 7 landed.
Finally, we got a fun run out.
Foxen needing an 8. A club could give us a
Oh my
sweat.
god, I thought you were a student.
I was wondering.
It's hard to see. This is
I can
long.
never tell when people are trolling or not. I was like, all right, yeah. It's
He already
fantastic
feels the
fun.
club.
Yeah, fun for you.
I think the club is coming.
4 clubs.
Turn card.
There's
The
club.
king
No.
of clubs. Now we have a real sweat. Foxen 12 outs.
Never easy.
It's never easy. Foxen 12 outs to send Coleman to the rail. If Coleman hits this, we're going to really bunch up this final table crowd here. The river is the 7 of hearts. Coleman's hand holds up. And Justin Young,
Get it in bad, I guess.
once again a spectator.
Tried doing that earlier.
Meanwhile, Donnie, you might as well go cash that ticket. The Packers up by 3 touchdowns.
I just saw. I mean,
Aren't the Cowboys supposed to be good?
you can't lay 7 with the Cowboys. They're a disaster.
Oh, man.
What do you have, Dylan? You have Dylan?
2.9.
Okay, so we're close-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit.
I think.
Fine, right?
2 point.
Should have 2.1 now.
2.895.
2.09.
Yeah.
Officially the chip.
He's like 1.2, right?
1.185.
Thanks.
I feel like Justin Young is going to make it to heads-up play, Donnie. He's going to remain short and just avoid elimination. Tiptoe his way into a nice little cash here.
All in?
Oh, there it is. Justin Young moves all in. Foxen, of course, was just trying to get away with a little bit of a steal here. Justin Young happy to take this one down without showdown. As the blinds keep increasing and nobody gets eliminated, might turn into a bit of a shove fest here for the next few orbits, if nothing happens.
10 seconds.
180.
180.
2.0. 2.1.
Coleman raising it up and taking it down.
Wow. That's
It's gonna
what you
get
did
shallow.
What? What do you mean?
Yeah.
You see that?
No, I missed it.
there. Oh,
Tossed the chip in and missed it.
Live Pro.
Anything?
Chad is speculating on the potential
3-9.
heads-up matchup.
That's something, right?
Let us know who you got. 4 players left. Anyone's game, really. The gap between first and third is 4 big blinds. Justin Young to short stack, but we know that he's today's cockroach, just hanging out, just sitting at the bottom of the counts, waiting for his next double up. Take your game to the next level with official PokerGO merch. Shop now at shop.pokergo.com. We have some cool stuff in there. High stakes poker, no gamble, no future. Of course, our PokerGO branded stuff as well. Hats, t-shirts, hoodies, all the stuff you need for your poker comfort. Donnie, internally, we're already talking about, you know, some World Series of Poker preparations. Every time I hear the word World Series of Poker, I get excited already. It feels like it's right around the corner already.
I mean, it is. It's going to be here before we know it. They've already announced the dates. Now we're just waiting on, I think normally they do kind of the little dribs and drabs of the schedule, tell us like the biggest, most important events, you know,
I think 2.4.
Monster Stack,
Okay.
Millie Maker, whatever,
Me too.
you know, big opening event they have, stuff like that, and then we'll get the full schedule a couple weeks after that. But yeah,
Yeah, like 2.3 total.
we're all kind of sitting there waiting for it to drop.
If you're planning on playing the World Series of Poker this year,
Second tag.
please let us know what you have in mind. Always fun to speculate on stuff like that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Dak Prescott just threw the worst interception I've ever seen.
I mean, worse than
It's about to be 27-0.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're kicking the extra point.
Oh my
Pick
God.
6. Literally threw it right to the defensive player. I mean, it's horrendous.
That's amazing.
Yeah, 27-0. It's not even halftime.
Meanwhile, Ace-5 versus Ace-8.
I'm so mad. I originally had Green Bay money line in my account, and I switched it for the points.
Oh, man. What was the money line?
Plus 290. Wow. But, I mean, whatever. It's fine. Not a big deal. I'm not going to
I
complain
know,
about it.
I know what's going to happen, Donnie. We'll see a tweet from someone today during this game that, like, bet the alternative line of, like, Packers minus 14 at, like, some ridiculous price.
I saw Action Network picked up Jesse Lonis' tweet.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, and they wrote, like, one better bet $40,000 on the Rams to win the Super Bowl to win $2 million. They didn't mention him in the tweet, at least, but yeah.
Sure.
Ace-high.
Picked up
Me
on it.
too, but you probably win.
Ace-high versus Ace-high. Correct read from Foxen as Coleman shows the 8 to take this one down. No aggression here, though. Checked all the way down. Phoenix Felon says, after I graduate, I'll give WSOP a try. I mean, it's if you're a poker fan, you're watching this stream, you're deep into the weeds, following along with all our updates and our content, you're going to have to play at some point in your life. Whether it's when you finished college or when you retire, whatever the case may be, put it on your bucket list. There is nothing like walking into that massive ballroom and sitting down with your own stack of chips. It is very, 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 very cool. I'd say one step up from that as far as the buy-in levels go, and perhaps the allure of the room itself. Donnie, we've heard this quite a few times over the last few weeks. The PokerGO Studio is starting to develop its own little vibe that players just want to be a part of.
Yeah, no, of course.
Call.
9's here for Mr. David Coleman. He's going to make the call in position against Destefano.
See the flop, huh? The first time I've ever seen you make a mistake, Norman.
I thought he was going to use
Not even a mistake, a little pause.
That's a mistake for him.
That 7 on the flop is a pretty big one.
No, I don't think so.
Look at this. Queen 9-10. Coleman flops a set. Destefano with the gut shot. Backdoor spades going for him as well.
That's what I folded to you when you shoved. And I tanked forever. 7s. I mean, we're probably flipping a lot, but I opened the cutoff you shove button, I think.
I do remember that.
Yeah. Hopefully you didn't have 6s.
We were not flipping.
Oh. Who was ahead?
Well,
175.
175 is the bet by Destefano. Donnie, when you flop a set of 9s on a flop like this, is there more or less incentive to raise for someone like Coleman?
I think you want to lean just call and then play a turn accordingly.
too purple for me.
Sure.
Match one color.
Call was made. 6 of clubs on the turn.
I think now for Coleman is, I'd put that into kind of the safeguard category. Yeah, it does, brings it back to a club draw, but that's not the same as like, an 8 rolling off or a king or, a jack, something like that. So
Action here on Coleman. Probably trying to gauge the kind of value he can get here from his set. And he settles on 425. Destefano with the quick fold. Coleman chips back up.
One
And
more?
it is almost as if Coleman was never the short
This
stack.
last one. This is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I always get confused because they say 3 more hands. I don't know if it includes the 1. I can never figure out where the button's supposed to end.
Yeah.
Maybe it's my little brain.
Well, let me tell you, we are approaching a short break. There will be some time travel, I've been told, but not as much as you are used to, as apparently there was a extended break. The players took a while to get back to their seats, so we will be...
Could have dealt without him.
I know. We will be going to about 5 minutes worth of highlights before returning to the action in the sort of famous 50K, 100K level, where a lot of damage is generally done. Coleman raising it up, probably here with King 7 of clubs.
160.
Quick folds all the way over to
This is the
Destefano.
last one? Yeah?
Yeah, that was it.
Thank you.
Or this will be it.
Destefano lets it go, and that means we're going to go on a 5-minute break. So get your fresh coffee, maybe some chips, whatever you need. We'll be back in 5 minutes for the
coloring up, right?
continuation of this final
Please,
table.
for the love of God.
So this is, I'm just going to give them 500, I guess.
Mic's off.
One player that we certainly don't think is going to back down at all. Masashi Oya, I think he's just going to be out there firing away with this chip lead. Really put the pressure on his opponents. Here he's coming in with a raise from the cutoff seat. Earlier in this hand, you saw Isaac Haxton fold under the gun ace-8 off, where if Haxton has the chip stack that Masashi does, maybe Haxton comes in with a raise there, right? But here, you know, Haxton's going to take the conservative approach. Bonomo electing to call King 7 of Hearts out of the small blind. Now it's on Daniel. No need to get too crazy for Negreanu. Comes along as well.
Three-way action here to the flop, both blinds involved. Wow, look at that. Ace, King 4, top pair, and the nut flush draw for Negreanu. Oya, the same top pair, same kicker, but does not have the flush draw.
Also an interesting spot for Bonomo. Second pair against a very aggressive chip leader in late position, and Negreanu can really have a pretty wide range there from the big blind, so Bonomo's got second pair with the backdoor nut flush draw.
And of course, nothing strange about Oya continuing here. Playing against 2 players in the blinds, his ace-6 is going to be good quite a good amount of the time. Like you said, Donnie, can't fault Bonomo either here for tagging along. Interesting spot here now for Negreanu. Just comes with the call. How do you feel about this, Donnie?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, it's kind of a tricky spot. Yeah, of course you have. Oh wow!
Wow! Oh my God! Ladies and gentlemen, turn up the volume. We might see some fireworks here as Bonomo rips off a third king. Both Negreanu and Oya with an ace. Negreanu not drawing dead. He still has the nut flush draw. And we could see the action get checked around here as it is now on Oya with ace-6.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how aggressive Oya wants to be, but I would expect him to check here. I mean, his kicker is really nothing in this spot, so.
Big river card coming up. It is the deuce of diamonds. Bonomo is going to get the check mark against 2 players with a pair of aces. Negreanu's hand very much under-repped. He's probably going to think that no one is going to give him credit for a hand this strong. Bonomo perhaps might have the others thinking that he's going to steal the pot here.
$450.
450 is the bet from Bonomo.
It's a healthy bet here. Just, you know, I think Negroni might find a fold here. Yeah, that's about half his stack. Oya, on the other hand, I mean, could pay this off here.
I mean, very, very well done from Negreanu. Calls one street, sees a free river card, and just gets away from it that quickly. I'm impressed.
Always hard when you're an aggressive player, when you're a chip leader like Masashi is, to flop top pair and ultimately get away from it. I know, you know, like a lot of times you're just not supposed to have it, and then you have something, and it's like, well, you know, what's going on here? But
I'm still thinking about how quickly Negreanu folded here. And Oya grabbing chips to make the call. And there it is. He tosses them in. Bonomo is going to receive a very big pot and a big smirk on the face of Negreanu.
You saw that? Yeah.
Oh, his lips are burning. Of course, we are live. And Isaac Haxton applies the pressure on the blinds, moves all in for a million.
Wow.
And Dennis Milkovic snap calls with ace-king offsuit. Isaac Haxton all in with pocket.
For them.
What is?
Welcome back
Is he?
inside the triangle room.
I love both.
Action about to get back underway. Playing 50K,
Sure.
100K blinds as David Coleman is a chip leader. Kristen Foxen second in chips. Dylan Destefano third. And Justin Young. Comfortable, very comfortable as our short stack. Justin Young has been short the
1.25.
entire time. Moves all in with ace-jack off on the very first hand here. Let's see if he can get something done with this. By the way, my name is Remco Rinkema. Donnie Peters alongside me. Let's see if Coleman's going to make this call. I called it a while back. I said Justin Young is going to finish second. He's just going to dance on that tightrope until he gets down to heads-up play. Coleman taking his time, running the numbers. Young all in for 12 bigs. To Robert Vasquez and other people asking. The final table you just saw the highlights from is available on our YouTube channel. You can watch the whole Negreanu final table. It's from a few days ago. Meanwhile, Coleman makes the call with ace-7. And Justin Young will be at risk again. Like I said, he's been the cockroach today. He's unkillable. But the worst hand has also been winning a lot during all-in showdowns. So I don't want to stake any claims here. But Justin Young looking for his fourth double up at this final table. Here's the flop. 3, 5, 10. Very safe for Justin Young. 2.6 million in the middle. Would vault Justin Young into second place. Coleman has been all over the map today. Let's see if he can spike something. 5 pairs the board now. Some chop outs. A 3 or a 10 would chop this thing. Coleman looking for a 7 to send Young to the rail. River card. It's the queen of clubs. That's not going to do it. Justin Young
1, 2,
with
3,
his
5.
fourth double up of this final table. Coleman back down
Game on.
Oh, pretty even.
to 1.9 million. Justin Young actually, Donnie. Chip leader. He's not even
Dylan,
second
what
in
do you have
chips.
again? Like 24?
Pretty
24?
insane.
From worst to first, baby.
2.2.
Okay, cool.
2.15. I think you're the chip leader
here.
Really?
or JY.
Wow, that's wild. So.
It is indeed
really
wild
cool.
as
Yeah, I
Justin
think you
Young
are.
now with the chip lead.
2.6, I think.
For doubling
it's-
through
Yeah.
On
Coleman.
the short stack with 19 bigs, I'm pretty sure.
Big stack's got 26.
Yeah, really close.
Yeah. That's wild. Nice.
Seen this hand win big pot. Figured I'd.
Very funny dynamic as far as the big blinds and the chip counts go right now.
Anyone's
Young
game.
chip leader for the very first time.
My plan all along.
Yeah, good start for you.
Said all in a lot.
Donnie, with how good these players are, how much experience they have, are we just
200?
running into a scenario where it is about who runs the best during this four-handed play because the stacks are so shallow?
Yeah, I mean, runs the best, plays the best as well.
Same hand, same hand. 10-8, 10-8. Ace 3-5 on board. Whoever stabs at this will likely be able to take it down.
10 seconds. $175.
I just wanted to even out the stacks a little bit. That's all. Nice.
Thanks.
Coleman takes this one down.
Now it's insanely even.
Yeah. 2.2. You have
2.55.
2.5.
1.95 behind.
And David, you have
I think I just went from second chips
like
to last in chips.
1.9 or something.
More.
Without
I
playing
had
the hand.
185 to start that
Okay.
hand, so
Oh,
should be
okay.
2-2, I think.
Cool. Okay. We are even.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This is pretty insane. I don't think I've seen this ever before. Shortest stack, 21 bigs. Chip leader, 25 bigs. It's pretty ridiculous.
Call. Option check.
Young limping in from the small blind. Destefano with 7-4 off in the big one. Happy to take a free flop. Every pot right now is going to basically change the chip lead.
100. $10.
6-6-8 on the flop. Destefano with a gut shot. Young with top pair. You got to be so careful right now with how close these stacks are. Any misstep could really put you in a tough situation, and the pay jumps are not insignificant. Final four players guaranteed $34,000. Next pay jump, 49, then 69,000, and then 105,000 for the winner. Anyone here with a great chance to just take home 6 figures. Not a bad way to start the year with a score like that. Jack of clubs on the turn gives Young 2 pair. He does opt to
400.
check.
400.
And here it is, Destefano betting 400K. Donnie, if you're Justin Young here with Jack 8, check call might be the preferred method.
Yeah, I think if you were to put this in here, I mean,
Time extension.
probably only going to get called by hands that have you pretty crushed. A lot of the sixes, you know.
Owen.
Wow. Justin Young.
Forget what I said.
He check raises all in and snap fold from Destefano.
Chip a leader.
Massive.
'Kings here for Foxen, as if we haven't seen pocket kings enough yet at this final table.
200.
Comes in for the min raise, or as Phil Ivey once called it, the mini raise.
Shout out Phil Ivey, baby.
Coleman calls from the big blind for just, one chip. Might as well go see a flop here, having already invested the big blind and the ante as ace jack 10 rolls off the deck. Not the flop that Foxen was hoping for with kings, but little does she know, she has Coleman crushed. One stab from Foxen is enough to get it done. Seven for offsuit says Foxen should lose the glasses and intimidate them.
The glasses are pretty intimidating.
I was gonna say the glasses are pretty tough to see through. I don't know. I feel like glasses sometimes can really help you focus as well, as it sort of puts you into your own little bubble.
200.
The lights are also bright inside our Triangle studio, so many players opting for sunglasses just to dim the lights a little bit. Do you ever play with sunglasses on, Donnie?
No, I mean, I've tried a couple times and never liked it, so just never have.
This might be why you're losing.
It very, very well could be. I'm gonna need to try it.
Let us know in the chat. What's your like go-to outfit? Are you like hoodie, sunglasses, headphones type player? Are you au naturel, going for some table talk perhaps, trying to learn something about your opponents? My least favorite player to ever play with, and I play low stakes, mind you. I just play to have fun. My days of aspiration are far behind me. My least favorite player is the one that has headphones on or earbuds in, and every single time the action is on them, they're like, "Huh, what? What? How much?" Happens far too often. Destefano raising it up and taking it down. Lots of raise and takes here in this 50-100 level, and until we see an elimination, could very much stay that way.
225. Seconds.
$225 from Foxen. Destefano with the call from the big blind. King 7 deuce, 2 diamonds.
$150.
Foxen again takes it down. Donnie, aggression seems to be the name of the game right now, separating Young and Foxen from Coleman and Destefano. Of course, you got to have the hands in the position and all that stuff, but still, a few hands ago we were virtually in a 4-way tie. Right now, Destefano in a lot of trouble, being down to 13 bigs.
Aggression is always the name of the game.
Owen?
All in.
Young forcing the action with a shove on the button, putting Destefano and Coleman under pressure. It almost becomes risk-free at this point for Young, Donnie, to make a shove like that versus the 2 smaller stacks in the blinds.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to have to wake up with very good hands to be able to call, so Young can certainly open things up a little bit, get aggressive.
Chill Pollins in the chat says, sunglasses are lame. 7 for offsuit says, reading glasses. Now, reading glasses, I think, are the ultimate tool to get away with some big bluffs. You put on the readers, you look back down at your cards, and you're like, I'm all in. How is anyone going to call that unless they have the nuts?
They're not.
Ace queen off for Young. Doesn't need reading glasses for this one. It's going to raise it up. And Destefano, his stack dwindling in the last few hands. Ace 8 off, Tawny. Is this a shoving candidate?
It might be, yeah. I mean, he might find it here. Especially if he thinks Justin Young is starting to get
Time extension.
a little bit over the line with some of this pre-flop opening. Now being the chip leader is Young, so it can be expected that he would start opening up his raising range a little bit.
All in.
All in.
Destefano does move all in. Very, very interesting hand here. Both blinds fold immediately, and Justin Young happy to snap it off here as Destefano is at risk for his last 12 big blinds. It's so funny how Justin Young was the short stack for basically 60 straight hands at this final table, and now in a position to get down to the final 3 with a big chip lead. 2.8 million in the middle. If Destefano somehow manages to find a win here, he's going to be our new chip leader. Here's the flop. Queen in the window right away. Disaster for Destefano. Doesn't even have the backdoor spades going. He's going to need runner 8 or a runner chop to take this one down. Already got the backpack. No runner for Destefano. He's going to be our 4th place finisher. Good game, sir. Nice showing here at the PokerGO studio. Has made plenty of runs already, and today he will take home a nice payout. Let me just verify here. Destefano, 4th place finisher, $34,675.
I was just big blind, right? Yes.
Gets 69 points for his
and
efforts.
You have, sorry, how much?
16.
16, thank you.
And now we're 3-handed with
wow
as the chip.
Now you're running away with it.
Tournaments are fun, right?
Almost every time. We have this debate a lot when we play cash. We play a lot of cash, and it's just like everyone complains about tournaments. It's like tournaments suck, but like
Until they don't.
that 5% of the time they don't. Man,
They're super
so much
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
There's nothing that beats them.
Nope.
Even if I go out third, obviously, like this
Yeah.
is such a hoot.
Yeah.
100%.
Like, good luck. Look. There you go.
Justin Young, the betting favorite before this final table started, to use the word hoot in a sentence.
Especially after you play cash
Of the
for
remaining
years, it
finalists?
just becomes, you're just numb to everything. It's like,
No, for sure. And
yeah.
it's, back when I used to play a shit ton of tournaments, and I would just go home pissed off 98% of the time. Like,
Yeah.
it really wore on me, like psychologically.
Yeah.
Like now I treat them as like free rolls almost.
Yes.
Like they're like.
Yes.
I just envision the money just being burned right as I give it away. And
Exactly.
It makes it so much easier to bust tournaments now.
Yep.
It's a good mindset, honestly.
It really
That
is.
should be the expectation.
Yeah.
Justin Young has been on this grind for many, many years. An OG of the tournament scene. 6.4 million in career earnings. Young's biggest live tournament result, Donnie, dating back to 2008 when he got second in the Doyle Brunson Classic World Poker Tour event. Lost heads up to Chino Ream.
Chino Ream.
Third place, Evan McNiff, Steve
Yes,
Sung,
yeah,
and
including that.
Amnon Filippi and Hoyt Korkins.
That's a table.
That is a World
This
Poker
level's
Tour
nice.
Classic final table.
I know.
Math is
It's
hard.
funny looking back at that era of the game. Also cashing Mike Matisow, Cloney Gowan, Rob Mizraki, Brett Ritchie, Nick Schulman, Martin DeKniff. Those were the days, 2008. Of course, Young has a World Poker Tour title of his own, winning the 2016 Showdown Championship at Hard Rock, beating Garrett Greer heads up.
10 seconds.
Coleman limping in. Foxen 7-4 of hearts.
300.
Foxen with the race to 300K, and that's enough to take this one down. If you're enjoying our coverage, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're in the closing stages of this event. Given the fact that the stacks are shallow and Young has a big chip lead, it is going to be interesting to see if anyone can make a bit of a comeback here. Foxen versus Coleman all in would be fun, because then maybe one of them is going to put up a fight against Justin Young. Coleman here with a real playable hand, ace-7 offsuit.
800.
Raise to 800.
Committal raise here to 800K. Oh, and kings again for Foxen. Are you kidding me? We've seen pocket kings in 70 hands at this final table. I want to say 6 times.
Easily, maybe more.
Wow.
1 second pass.
All in.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Kristen Foxen moves all in. Justin Young would have to find a real strong hand to get involved here. And he folds a7, adding
Good luck.
insult to injury. Let's see if he says it to Coleman. Justin Young, the vet, Donnie, isn't going to break Coleman's heart there, mentioning that he also folded a7.
You didn't have one, did you? I saw a little hesitation when you folded. Dang it.
Sorry, I wasn't going to say anything.
Nah. Yeah, I asked. So.
Very funny back and forth there as we await the flop. Here it is. Ace in the window.
Say, still
Or in the
out.
middle, I
Yeah.
should say, but it
Almost
doesn't
said
matter.
it.
It is always the middle card somehow at this
exactly
final
ace-7.
table.
Oh,
And
wow.
It's opposite suits. Opposite.
David Coleman drills it on the flop. Now Foxen down to 2 kings. 5 on the turn is not going to do it.
1.3, right?
No, I
Foxen with 2 outs. What a roller coaster.
Yes.
Let's see the river card. It's the 8 of spades. And David Coleman now gets a chance to double up. Donnie, what are we witnessing here?
Break this down.
I mean, Coleman got unlucky earlier against Foxen. He had kings, she had the 7s. 7 on the flop, so Coleman
We're
getting
both
a
really
little
good
bit
at
of
winning.
a
Right?
payback, some redemption there.
Alright. Now I have 12.
Foxen now the short stack down to 12 bigs. Lots of Foxen hands in the Foxen fans in the chat. Very sad to see that ace on the flop.
I've had kings a lot.
Yes, you have.
Young makes the call. Coleman with ace-4 offsuit in the big blind.
10 seconds. Check. Okay.
King, queen, 5, all diamonds. Coleman with the ace of diamonds. Young with the 8 of diamonds.
100.
Coleman calls 100K. 7 of hearts on the turn. Young adds a gut shot to his outs. Coleman well ahead here with ace high and that diamond draw. Action goes check, check. Deuce of clubs on the river.
Check, check.
I know, you got it.
An ace.
Ace four.
Ace high is going to take this one down.
Best ace.
Good fucking ace.
Sorry, how many more hands did you guys? Oh, you are now. Okay.
Sure. Do that again. I think I saw one of them.
Wow, look at this. That time Norman saw them all.
No, I didn't see it. I just saw it.
Mm-hmm.
So my button, and then they go up. On Chrissy's button, they go up.
Yes, right.
Okay. Finally figured it out.
Go ahead.
Proud of me?
Looks like 2 more hands before the blinds go up. That means we get to the level that usually kills it off, 75K, 150K. Justin Young, Jack 10 off on the button.
Thank you, sir.
Ooh, Foxen finds ace king suited in the big blind.
All in.
All in.
Moves all in versus
1.2-ish.
Justin Young.
1.15.
1.15. Yep.
Thank you.
Is this a call with Jack 10?
I think no.
10 seconds.
Probably should.
Time extension.
Might just be outclassed. Just dominate just enough.
Thank you.
Some discipline there from Justin Young. Lets it go. Foxen would have
I
loved to
think
see
I
a
had
call
you
there.
dominated. Whichever way it was.
That's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
But my cards might have been live
I
too.
think she's probably fine just taking it without getting called.
Does it not have an ace or a king?
I had both, an ace and a king.
I figure that's what you meant when you thought
Yes.
you had me dominated. But
Yep.
I mean,
Oh, you
that just
didn't
means I
have
have
either.
live cards.
Okay.
Very likely you're dominating an ace king.
Yes.
Yeah. I would have been happy if I would have called and you should ace king.
Fair.
happier if you would have shown 2 numbers or something.
Coleman, King Jack,
225.
diamonds.
225.
He's coming for a race.
Sorry about
No
that.
problem.
Sorry.
Now they're up.
Oh, yeah. So 75, 125, is that where we're
I put in the wrong chip.
150. Really getting after it.
Thank you.
Love it.
Can you trade me a yellow? Put the wrong chip out. Give me a yellow back, please.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, it's 75.
Yeah.
Big jump.
At this point, might
yes.
as well. I don't
Yeah. All right, I'll take the good cards.
All right. 4.4. 4.4. All right.
4.4?
Yeah. Not including that.
Close enough.
Yeah.
3.05 total.
Seven deuce on the flop here. Young flopping top pair versus Coleman.
150, right?
Oh, yeah, 150. Yeah.
That 150.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
$525.
Coleman electing to attack with a raise here in position, but probably is not going to go too well for him. Young does have it. Top pair. Second best kicker.
All in.
Wow, Justin Young comes back over the top. Coleman with a misstep here. This will give Kristen Foxen some hope, Donnie.
Yeah, of course. Knocks down Coleman a little bit. Gets him closer to Kristen Foxen's stack.
All in.
Justin Young jams on the button, and Kristen Foxen finds ace queen. She's in a dominating position here. She makes the call.
I mean,
That
if
would be
these
my
last
second.
6 all-ins are any indication, we're going to say farewell to Kristen Foxen because the worst hand has been coming out on top. Jokes aside here, Foxen in a great spot to double up here.
Thank you, buddy.
Foxen and Coleman have been on insane roller coasters today. Can her ace-queen hold up is the question. And it is likely to be the case as King-Queen 7 rolls off the deck.
Great start for her.
Do see some backdoor clubs there for Young. Can never eliminate those backdoor draws. Oh, hello. 5 of clubs on the turn. Justin Young now with 8 outs.
Fair enough. 1.3 is where I had it.
3 of hearts on the river as we
Be right.
missed the dealer putting that cart down. Nice double up for Foxen as Justin Young's stack gets dented for the first time.
Will never end.
Yeah, right.
You guys make the bad beats look so easy.
David, you have.
2-3.
Okay, thank you.
Like 2-8.
5. Yeah.
King 8 off here for Foxen. Let's see if she's going to continue to attack here. Young with Jack 9 takes a little stab here. Foxen, meanwhile, picks up top pair. And as you can tell by the swings, this is still anyone's game here.
$350.
Bet 350.
Young continues here, Donnie. How do we feel about him applying some pressure?
Doesn't hear this whole table shaking.
It might be me.
Okay.
I'm surprised I'm capable of moving the whole table. Wow.
I mean, he's just going for it, applying pressure as the chip leader. Fortunately for him, Kristen Foxen just has too much of a hand here for her to go anywhere.
10 completes the board on the river. Foxen's 8 still best. Will we see a third barrel from Justin Young?
Young could go for it again here.
$800.
There it is. He does, in fact, go for it once again. 800 into 1.55, just about half pot. Putting Kristen Foxen to the test here. Be a very, very good call if she's able to find it.
This will be a huge swing at this final table if Foxen makes this call. Tanya, what are we worried about here? Hearts, of course, perhaps?
Everything. I mean, 4, 5, 9, 7. I mean, you got hearts, 2 pairs. I mean, it's just.
Seems as though she's leaning towards making the call here.
Yeah, I mean, she has one of those hands too where
Yeah.
she's not blocking anything of value, right? And she's blocking bluffs, which is not good to have. Like you're blocking, I don't know, King 9, right? You're blocking spades with that King of Spades. Like it's just You know, what bluffs does Justin Young have there? I mean, he ultimately does have one, yes, but
Wow. If we're results-oriented, looking at the cards here, we might think that Foxen made a bad fold. But, Donnie, as you said, very hard to find a hand there that Justin Young would bluff with. And Young chipping up, applying the pressure now. Foxen and Coleman nearly tied at the bottom here as as Young holds a big chip lead right now.
Young cruising now, certainly feeling it as well.
You have like 1-8?
I have 2 behind.
2. Thank you. 10 seconds.
Couple of queens here for Foxen. The big pairs continue. It's been a theme of this final table.
Raise 300.
Raised to 300, and Justin Young finds 2 8s in the small blind.
One.
Wow.
Yeah, he's going to put this in here, and
Oh, my God. Kings for Coleman.
what?
Have we not seen enough big pairs clash at this final table as David Coleman finds kings in the big blind? Could we have a three-way all-in here?
I don't see how it doesn't play out otherwise. I mean, I know Kristen Foxen is going to be the third person here with 2 jams in front of her. You know, she raised. Justin Young puts it in, and Coleman's going to put it in now, but I think Foxen's hand is just too good to ultimately get away from here. So,
Early candidate here for hand of the year.
Call.
Wow.
Call queens.
What is going on here?
What was I doing?
What a setup.
Kings,
Baby
queens,
Gaga.
and
How much
eights.
do you have, Chrissy? 'Cause
What's
what's going to happen?
That's a good
Spikes
question.
an 8.
An 8 right now would end this
2.125.
tournament with a three-way all-in, Donnie.
1.45.
What do you have?
2.15.
What do you say? I have you by 25K?
2125.
I have you by 25K.
Wow.
Wow, so Coleman has Foxen out-chipped. Absolutely massive showdown here. A three-way all-in that could decide this tournament.
You said 2.150?
Correct.
I have never witnessed a three-way all-in
Wow.
with 3 players remaining.
Check.
Let's see how this
Or we could
plays
just
out.
end it. I mean,
As Coleman has a chance here
That would be no
to
fun.
triple up and take a huge chip lead.
I'm sorry, I'm getting angry already.
1.125. Yep.
Justin Young, an 8 away from taking down
All right.
one of the
queen.
most epic hands of the year so far.
Clubs,
When
too.
you need him.
Yeah, where is Ren?
Foxen looking for.
If he's watching,
queen.
I think he's cheering for.
All right, here comes the flop.
Oh,
8 in the window. Are you
7.
kidding me?
I'll take it.
Justin Young drills an 8 and is 2 streets away from ending this tournament in a three-way all-in. Coleman and Foxen are stunned. Turn card is the 3 of spades.
Wow.
You can see the
Jack,
outs
just
on the
to make
screen.
me feel
Foxen needs a
something.
queen. Coleman needs a king. We are 1 card away from this event being done.
Queen of spades.
River card.
Oof.
It is all over.
All right, good
Justin
game.
Young
That
busts
was
2
fun.
players on the
Good
final
game.
hand, getting it in with
Good
the
game.
worst 2 cards.
Playing with
And we
hands.
get
So
some
let's
friendly
confirm that
handshakes.
I have Kristen
Yeah.
covered,
Oh,
but
yeah.
As Coleman
I'm
has Kristen
99%.
Foxen covered, meaning that he will
By
take second
25K.
place.
Yeah.
By 25K.
That is
20K.
insane. That is absolutely insane. Looking at the payouts here,
125.
Foxen will collect
215,
$49,000.
All right.
Coleman takes home $69,000, and then Justin Young, our champion today.
I mean,
what we think.
you can break down the stacks and make sure that
$105,000.
they
Yeah,
should break
just
them
double
down.
check.
It's close enough. This should.
And let me
Definitely
just
worth
make sure
checking.
those are right, actually.
Total mayhem here inside the PokerGO studio. I have never seen this before. A
That's
three-way
wild. I've never seen
all-in.
anything like that,
Right?
actually. I've been playing tournaments for a while.
David Coleman says it. He has never seen it either. and he has been playing poker tournaments
I
for
should
a very long time.
Stop.
We look
No.
ahead at our upcoming events here as we have a 5K
Yeah,
final
wow.
table tomorrow and
do
then
think
a
like
10K final table on Tuesday. So 2 more live streams coming up here from the 2024 PGT kickoff. And with that, we close things out for the day. Thank you all so much for watching. You can look here inside the PokerGO studio as the action is already ongoing in event number 4. My name is Rem Korinkema, Donnie Peters alongside me. What a blast this final table has been. It's been an honor and a pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern. For now, good night from Las Vegas. The PGT kickoff continues tomorrow.